What is going on, guys? Welcome to another race of VIL. This week it is around the Yas Marina circuit in Abu Dhabi. Under the lights it should be today, so we'll be looking forward to another good close race. We have been treated some very close racing in the last 2 weeks, so hoping to make this continue. We are joined here by two reserve drivers as well, in Yos and Evil Hunter. But apart from that, we do have 18 of our first drivers participating on tonight. Darth is Demon Racing, so he has switched his name just to inform everyone who isn't aware of that. We are going to be following Total P's out onto the track. The sound of this is absolutely amazing. Just going to put everything on, as P's is going to quickly take us on an outlap of the Yas Marina circuit. I'll just inform everyone on the driver's standings, as VIL Murphy is actually being closed into by TNR Ole. There is a 5-place gap there for the top of the championship. Then it drops off by around 20 odd points down to Andreas, and then another 30 down to NUF1, and then it starts to heat up massively in the midfield. So you've got the top three, and then you've got the midfield battle, really. So Andreas One and Murphy, who are the ones who are really in for the championship fight at the moment. I think mathematically other people can still win it, but it's not on, really. As NUF1 is over 50 points away from the championship lead. Is it in the constructors? We do have Haas, who have absolutely run away with it at the moment on 217 points. Then Red Bull on 173, and then we've got Toro Rosso on 150. The closest battle at the moment is for that 4th place, with McLaren, Racing Point and Mercedes all looking quite good in that position, with Mercedes on 97 points. Racing Point 94 and McLaren also on 94, so we will be keeping an eye on that battle as well today and seeing who can do well. So we do have P's looking quite good around the first lap of this. I think it is going to be a 2-stop race, as I'm pretty sure this track is quite harsh on the tyres. As we will be setting our banker for today, not invalidating yet, so we will be looking for a turn in form from P's as well. He hasn't been able to finish recently coming into the league, getting 2 consecutive second places, and then kind of went downhill for a while for him. But it will be interesting to see if he can change his fortunes tonight. Coming into the last sector now under the bridge, and we will be seeing what he can do going around the final 2 corners. And he's going to set a 1:35.4, looking like a pretty solid time at the moment. We do also have Paz on a time, so we'll be just sitting on board to see if he can pressure that P's time. We have got quite a lot of people getting out of the way, as it's difficult to do so in sector 3, so they're doing it before. We'll be having a look to see where everyone else comes across the line, as Laggy Racer comes across the line 2 tenths slower than P's. And then we have Seb a second almost off P's as well. Andreas with 37, Maverick with 37, and Paz with 37. Darth with a 36. A lot of these drivers are running the harder compounds of tyres, though, so don't expect too much. Just One brings comes in fastest by another 5/10 with 34.925, so he's looking very strong for tonight. But I think we will be having quite a big split in strategies for tonight, seeing what everyone else is going to be doing. I think you can pull off the one stop if you do start on the mediums, but I'm not 100% sure on that. As we will just quickly try and get on board with someone who hasn't. We'll sit on board with our reserve tonight of Yos. He is replacing the Alfa Romeo driver of Leopard as he is having connection issues. So we will be seeing how he can perform. Looking quite good really at the moment. We'll be seeing if he can put himself at the top of the medium runners. Getting a bit sideways there though, going through the exit, locking up a little bit as well, so we'll be seeing what he can do. Really pushing this car, pushing the track limits all the way to the max. And he is going to come across the line and place himself in fourth with a 35.8, so 1/10 quicker than NUF1, who is the second runner on the medium tyres. So he's looking quite fast, seeing if he can make an impression on us tonight. So we do have NUF1 who's just off the circuit at the moment. Young Lights as well has him validated. We've got Jonathan Cox on an outright. Nova is on a lap, but Energetics is going to come across the line to set his first time of the night. And we'll be seeing what he can do. He sets a 1:35.2. That is massively outperforming everyone else, and he's on the mediums. That's an incredible time there by the Haas driver. Well, this is definitely a driver we need to keep our eyes on. Only 3/10 off the pole time and on the harder compounder tyres. That's absolutely incredible. So we are going to quickly hop on board with Nova, who is going to cross the line, go 13th. Nothing too special there. That second place time has set Energetics up for a very nice qualifying session for the rest of it, as he's put himself in a very, very competitive time, even amongst the soft runners. It just does show how much more time there is to get out of this. But you've got also Jonathan Cox in a purple middle sector there, so we'll be seeing what he can do as well. He did come out the blocks like sprinting, but he seems to have calmed down, struggling a bit off the pace recently, but he'll be looking to get that back as well, so we'll be seeing what he can do. Really pushing the track limits to the limit at the moment. And he has gone second as well, 1/10 quicker than Energetics, so these two are looking very, very quick around this track tonight. As we have got Murphy as well down in 12th place. So I'm pretty sure Young Lights just went at 35.4, so look at also a very good time there. He'll be sitting on board with Maz as he is also out on the mediums. We'll see where he can place himself and see if he can get competitive and maybe knock some of the soft runners who aren't as confident around this track down the order. But he has just invalidated his time there, so he's not going to be too happy with that, but as one of the only guys to have not set a time at the moment, we are going to sit on board with one of them, which is Iraj. The Toro Rosso car, he will be really looking to push that Toro Rosso and I think really just keep himself away from the Red Bull team, who are third in the championship and will be looking to really pressure and get that second place, sorry. But he has set a purple sector 2, so maybe he's really on it tonight and will be the front runner of the two Toro Rosso drivers, as Andreas has dropped down to P14, so you can see how quick this track is. But Total P is now going into second place with a 35 flat, being able to improve by 4 tenths on his previous best. But we do have Young Lights also getting out of the way, but he's on the last 2 corners now. We'll be seeing what he can do running out of ERS, and we are going to see if he can pressure the top, and he goes in 6th place on the soft top compound tyres with 35.5. So there's a massive gulf in class, I think, between some of these drivers tonight, and we will be seeing 2 groups, definitely. So we do have Seb starting yet another lap, hoping to improve himself, get himself into the top 5, as he has been able to put it on pole in the last 2 races, but not looking incredible tonight as of yet. Invalidating just there as well. He's not going to be happy with himself there. We do have Jos out on the compound tyres as well. One going even quicker now with a 34.6. So this track is really heating up, as Jos also set a purple sector 1. So we'll be seeing what these guys can do, as we do have we'll be having a look to see if Flea and Maz can get themselves on the board. They won't be wanting to start around the back. This is a hard place to overtake, so we are not looking... They're not going to be looking to make it too difficult for themselves. It's a bit of a mistake locking up there going into the final sector. They're only setting a green sector 2 though, so it will be close press now for a pole position time. We're really looking good around here, keeping it clean, as Laggy Racer does put it up into 5th place with a 135.3. So, but he has invalidated. Jos has, I think, just cutting one of those corners just slightly too much. This track does have a massive sort of difference in what everyone's opinion is on it. Some people absolutely love this track, the flowing nature of it, and some people really don't like it with the curbs and just sector 3. But we are looking to see if anyone is on a lap at the moment. Laggy Racer does seem to be on a lap. Coming through the middle sector, yes, he is on a lap in that 5th ERS, down to 0. Yeah, that's definitely not a lap for him. He's 8 seconds off the pace. So we'll be quickly just going around. Purple first sector there for Darth. So he will be looking to make himself known as a threat in this race. A lot of people getting purple sector 1, so maybe One didn't quite hook it up as well as he could have. But really getting quite wide there, but track limit saying is fine, so another purple sector 2 now as well, so he's really hooking it up at the moment. Getting a bit of oversteer there, going for the second part of the chicane. That won't help him out too much. Oh, really get the car and settled there on that curb. Really kicking it out. I think that's going to lose him a couple of attempts there, but he is going to continue to set his time. It will improve him on the 16th, but where will it put him? No, he's completely overdone it on the final corner. He's not going to be happy with himself there. It was looking like a very good time. He's got to watch out though, and he has retired from the session. He hasn't had a good run of form really when it came to qualifying sessions. He's always been struggling there. Early retirements usually, but Maz has put himself up into P9 with 35.778, so if he can stay there, he will be getting the fresh compounded tyres, as we do have Jos coming out on another outlap. I think he is one of the few at the moment. So we'll be looking for someone who is on a lap. I'm not sure if Paz will be on a lap. I'm just going to have a quick look. He's on a second lap, but he's got... No, he's coming in now. But we will be looking. Yeah, I don't think anyone's on the lap as of yet, as we do have Seb crossing the line to start his lap. So we will sit on board with him and see how he can do. Obviously, qualifying is very important around this track. It isn't the easiest to overtake. There is a couple of overtaking opportunities, whereas you're going to have to be very, very brave. Getting a purple sector 1. So yeah, there's definitely some time to gain on the table for One's time. And I think he knows that now coming out on his outlap. We will be sitting on Maz retiring from the session, not thinking he can do any better. As there is only 1 minute actually of the session remaining, so it's gone quite quick. We'll be seeing everyone out on their outlaps now, as you can see, just across the board, just spread out. Seb didn't get the greatest exit coming out of that chicane there, but going into the second chicane, he will be looking to have it a lot cleaner. Sending it kind of deep there, but getting it quite nicely on the exit. Just missing the apex as well. But we will be seeing what he can do. He did go green in the second sector, so... He's just going to be hoping he doesn't get held up too much by traffic here. These are all on their outlaps. Novan moving nicely out the way. That's really going to help him. He was the only one threatening to mess up that time. And we will be seeing him come around, setting himself into 6th place. That might be knocked down. That is only provisional at the moment, as we do have so many drivers out on their lap at the moment. As we've got Peas coming. Energetics is starting his lap as well, looking very quick today. One is starting another lap as well. But Seb is going to be looking not to get in the way of any more drivers, as he is very, very busy out there at the moment. Jonathan Cox has finished his qualifying on a provisional P3 at the moment. Flea not being able to set a time, so he will be starting at the back. Laggy Racer setting a purple sector 2, so we'll be seeing where he could go. Looking very quick actually going through this final sector. Jos going into provisional P2 with a 34.9, only 3/10 off the pole position lap. He is looking very, very quick. As we have Laggy now going into 3rd, a provisional P3 with a 35 flat. So they will, to get into the top 3, they will have to break in to the 34s now. As we do have Murphy coming across the line to get into a provisional P2 with a 34.909. 9 thousandths in front of Jos. We now have NUF1 retiring. Peas will not be improving. We've got Energetics just coming around, see where he can go. He's been pushed massively down the grid. He's going to get himself into P2 now. Really pushing it. Andreas going 34.2, which is extremely impressive. One putting himself back into P2. So Andreas is going to be your pole position sitter, followed by One, then Energetics and Young Lights, Evil Hunter. To 2 runners have come out absolutely nowhere. They're definitely mid-pack during the whole thing, but Evil Hunter having a good reserve race as well. And then we've got VIL, Murphy and Yoss just behind, two reserves, looking very, very good for tonight. As we do have, after Yoss, we do have Laggy Racer, Total P's, Kingsholm. Jonathan Cox is in P11, almost a pole position of the mid-pack. That's going to be nice for him. 7P12, Ireg, then Maz. NUF1, Paz, Darth, the Maverick, Nova in P19. He's not going to be happy with the way that went. And Flea, who's going to be really disappointed in himself and not to be able to set a time. But as you can see, after P12 really does fall off, and then even more so towards the back. Some of these guys might struggle a lot tonight. We'll be seeing everyone now picking their strategies, seeing how they are going to attack this race. I'm not 100% sure on the strategy for this, so I will be in just as in the dark as always. I usually know a strategy here or there, but this is completely unknown for me. As we are going to be away for the start of this race. I'm pretty sure here tonight we do start off in like sort of dusk, but we will be ending at night time, so this will be interesting to see how it goes. I will be looking at the hotel, see that light up as well, which will be quite a nice sight to see. But we do have Andreas leading the pack, quite away in front actually at the moment, so we'll be seeing that. As we do have Darth right at the back, so maybe a mistake on the formation lap. He'll be hoping he can get his mistakes out on the formation lap rather than anything else. Driver to watch, Mr. Consistent throughout the season has been Murphy. Really not the Canada race he wanted, having the contact with the Wall of Champions, and that's really allowed One and Andreas to like bring the championship to him. But as they say, it's not over till the fat lady sings, so we'll be waiting to see how this race goes, and this could really shape up to how the end of the championship is going to be going. Renault are looking very strong tonight as well. They will be looking to keep this 4th and 5th, maybe push on it a bit more, because this is their best qualifying performance this season. Young Light's been quite consistent, but they've been struggling on the second driver to be able to back him up on that. Young Lights just has been struggling in races though, so we will be seeing if he can improve. We do have One, who has actually overtaken Andreas on the formation lap, so that's a bit interesting, but he will be sitting on the grid slightly longer, as we have had a Racing Point disqualified along with a McLaren, so I think that is NUF1 and Maz making contact. We'll be looking to see the cars roll up to the grid now and just take their places on the start, and we'll be seeing how this goes. So I'm going to quickly turn on all the deltas, telemetry, position change for the first couple of laps to see who is the biggest gainer and who is the biggest loser. We've got the Williams of Darth coming in to take his position, as it does look like we will be seeing from the rear of this pack as for the start of this race. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 red lights, and away we go for round 11 of VIL. Around Abu Dhabi, the Renault's looking like they got a monstrous start, but it looks like Young Lights has got himself up, and Murphy has got himself up a couple of positions as well. Looking very, very good there. Iraj getting himself up to 3 places, and looking very good for Jos as well, sending it down the inside of the Renault. Will he be able to keep that position? Yes, he will, guys. I won't be wanting to be too overly confident at the moment, as we have got a spin there by Seb. Keeping out of the wall though, so he is still in this race, but he won't be happy with the amount of contact I think he did receive, or slightly too early on the throttle. But it is absolute mayhem coming into the second sector. Guys will be wanting to get themselves organised and get their race started, as we do have Young Lights all over the back of One, as Andreas has already pulled out a 6/10 lead, and we'll be looking to improve that, get away in the first 3 laps and avoid the DRS train that could ensue. Jonathan Cox moving past Kingsholm, moving back into his P11. Then we've got NUF1 moving past Maz going back down to P14, where he did start Laggy Racer, getting a 5-second time penalty for exceeding track limits. It's not exactly how he wanted to start, but Laggy Racer staying in a position at the moment, so as Young Lights getting it all wrong on the exit of the second to last corner, as the Maverick has retired from the session, and we will be having a look if he's just clipped that tyre barrier. Lucky he ghosted there, but that is the McLaren of the Maverick out of this race, possibly due to some contact. Really, it will be more than likely, as it was very, very messy. But we have got a VSC out at the moment, so Andreas managing to pull a 1-second gap already out, as I think that is Seb who has decided he doesn't want any more of this race, so he has also retired. So we have lost 2 drivers in the start of this race. Hopefully not too many more though, as One has brought that back down to 5/10. Now 1.7 seconds to the front 2 now, as Young Lights is going to be defending from Murphy, and we will be seeing how this goes, as Murphy isn't able to make the move, but Jos has made the move now on Energetics, who will be trying to make the move on each other. They have raced together before, so they will know how each other drive. They were actually teammates in AOR A1, so these guys are very much in the know of each other. As we've got Iraj moving up 3 places at the moment. He is the biggest gainer at the start, and then we've got Energetics as the biggest loser, only losing and gaining 3 places, so it's not as big as we've had on other races. But Murphy will be needing to get through if he wants to challenge the top 2 there, as we have lost the 2 leaving the session now, but DRS has been enabled, so Maz getting a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings as well, sitting down there comfortable in P14. This isn't a strong track for a lot of drivers. Young Lights getting very, very loose, very wide as well, getting over the bumps. He's not looking very comfortable there in that P3. I'm sure he'll want to just keep it together. Evil Hunter has dropped down. Maz has made a mistake and he has spun it. That is going to put him to the back of the grid. He's going to be hoping for a safety car to get him back into this race now. But we have got Murphy all over the back of Young Lights. He's going to be going to the inside now, as we've got Jos as well going to the inside and seeing if he can make the move. Jos not being able to make the move stick on Young Lights, but Murphy being able to. That was extremely close. Good racing from the 3 of them there, being able to keep it there. Jonathan Cox battling a lot with Kingsholm as well, switching positions left and right, as we have got Jonathan Young Lights being maybe squeezed a little too much and spun around there. He's not going to be happy with that, but he will be needing to get his head back in place and go again. As Energetics didn't quite get it right there on the exit of that corner, and that has opened Evil Hunter up to pressure him as well. We've got the two in front really just driving away at the moment. They're going to be looking at checking out One, setting the fastest lap of the race by a 1:40.5. But Iraj at the moment still taking his upwards trajectory in this race, with a 4-place gain and very, very close to the back of Young Lights, who will be having very hot tyres and needs to defend really from the Toro Rosso driver. The Toro Rosso driver all over the back of him. Flea now moving up into 16th place. Iraj moving past Young Lights. Young Lights won't be too happy with the way this race is going. And Maz spinning yet again, not happy with the way this race is going for him. Energetics side by side with Yoss, and he will be able to make that move stick. He is going to be acting as the rear gunner for the Haas driver of Murphy tonight, and we will be seeing if he can hold off the Alfa Romeo driver just behind, and see if he can almost push him into the grass of Evil Hunter now, as Murphy is actually closing the gap now to the front two. He will be looking to get in that DRS zone as quickly as possible. DRS isn't as important around this track as some people may think. If he can keep his tyres in order better than these two, it will be looking good. P's now moving up into P11. It's shooting it very wide, as that NUF1 is going to have the outside. There is contact there, but both car drivers keeping it on the track. And that's going to allow Daft to come down the inside. P's getting pushed about all over the place and losing another position. It's not looking good for the Racing Point. We do have Kingsholm, who is really putting P's under pressure. Well, he was 15 seconds off the pace now for Maz coming into the pits. Not happy on those tyres. But he will be hoping for P's retiring from the session as well. Getting it all wrong as well. So the Racing Point team really not getting it right. But that is a VSC again. And that will be helping the front runners just conserve their ERS, conserve their tyres. It doesn't look like safety cars are too much of a thing right now, as Jonathan Cox getting a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. It does look like we are starting to spread out now and get our little groups. Murphy's all over the back of... No, Energetic, sorry, is all over the back of Murphy. But I don't think he'll be looking to make the move. He knows his teammate is in a title fight with the three up front, and we'll be looking just to help him along here. But we do have an almost family battle here with Iraj and Laggy Racer, the two Red Bull cars now, who are going to be battling as TNR Ole comes into the pits, the first of the front runners to come in. Can't deal with the tyres anymore. We'll see where he comes out of the pits, see if he comes out into traffic, which I'm 90% sure he will. Maybe he'll come out just behind Nova, as we've got yellow flags. That is Laggy Race around the first sector. Oh, and Kingsholm has been claimed by the Red Bull of Laggy, it seems. That's a safety car. Maz is going to be so happy about that at the moment. Really falling 37 seconds, 40 seconds back off the pace. But One is going to be screaming now, as this gives these guys so much better of an opportunity to hit and not lose as many places. But the race is still on. There's still another 22 laps to go, so you never know what happened. This is a very, very brutal track that could claim anyone at any point with all these very harsh curbs. And spit cars out left and right. So we do have Andreas. I will be expecting the front three to dive into the pits. Maybe not Energetics, as he won't be wanting to double stack. That's the problem with having two drivers very, very closely matched in the same team. But I think he'll lead the way around as we do sit on board, watch Andreas come into the pits, Dan Murphy come into the pits, and Energetics carrying on, obviously not wanting to double stack. Yoss coming into the pits, Evil Hunter coming into the pits, Ireg coming into the pits, Jonathan Cox going on, Young Lights into the pits, NUF1 into the pits, Darth into the pits, Nova carrying on, yep, just as expected. But maybe all these cars coming into the pits won't be too bad actually for One. I think he will lose a position though to Murphy, who we are going to keep on board with to see. And it's not been as bad for One as I may have thought, so he has kept just behind Andreas and kept that 5th place. That is a net P2 at the moment, as the 3 drivers in front do have to pit. I'm sure Energetics isn't going to be too happy with the way this is going for him, but obviously the second driver in the queue there, and he will be looking to get that car around as quickly as possible so he can dart into the pits. He is the last of the soft runners to still be on the same tyres, as we've had a couple guys come in and put on the hard, so Yoss will be looking to go to the end of the race, unlike Murphy, who's put on another set of the softs, and One and Andreas putting on another set of mediums, so they will be needing another stop in this race. It will be interesting to see if Energetic does pit now. I think he might need to, as we've got the 2 Mercedes leading the pack, really. As that's not a sight we've seen really in this league, which has been very, very interesting. Yeah, he is going to be coming into the pits now. No, he's not. He's going to stay out and just chill at the front of this pack. They will be going for one more lap, as we do have Maz, who has pitted another time, I think, pitting onto the harder compounds of tyres. And he will be looking to go to the end now. He is back in this race, and yeah, it's looking very interesting now. Young Lights won't be too happy with the way this race has gone, but he is very, very much in the battle for some very good points now. No, he's quicker than the guys in front of him. It's just whether he can get himself past. We are coming toward the business end of this season now, so we will be looking to expand into 2 leagues for next season. So if you are interested, do drop a comment down below and I will get you the link to the Discord and get you involved for season 2, as we are looking to expand to 40 drivers over the 20, and hopefully still have just as good attendances for both leagues. Attendance ratings are very important to us, and also we want clean, competitive driving. So we've got safety car in this lap. It's going to be interesting how Energetics does restart this, as he's going very, very slowly, And hopefully that doesn't catch anyone out too much. He's going to be back in the pack up massively now. As I think he does know that his teammate is on the softer compound of tyres and might be just backing it up a bit more so maybe his teammate can get a better launch. I don't think he'll be under much pressure by Jos behind on 2 compounds harder. So Jos will be more defending from Evil Hunter on the medium compounds of tyres. We will be sitting on board with Jonathan Cox to see when the Haas driver goes. And the Haas driver has gone now. Getting an alright restart as we will be looking to see what happens now if there's any position changes. Anyone can take advantage as Nova is under pressure massively by Andreas right now. Can he fend off the Toro Rosso and Red Bull driver, or will it be too much as Jonathan Cox got it all wrong? And One really getting that right, getting past the both of them. Dan Murphy sending it down the inside, not wanting to be held up behind the Mercedes driver. Jos being able to squeeze through as well. That's quite good for him as well, giving him that 1 car gap to Evil Hunter. As we are going to quickly sit on board to see if Evil Hunter does send this down the inside. No, he doesn't. He waits, bides his time. Kingsholm has just left the session as Young Lights is all over the back, and Iraj is absolutely everywhere at the moment. Just almost going, sending himself, but that is Evil Hunter down the inside and making that stick there. As I'm sure Murphy's not going to want to be held up by Toro Rosso and Red Bull at the moment, but it is looking like a bit of a queue going on now. Dan Murphy does seem to be holding them up. Well, sorry, Energetics is holding them up at the moment. Energetics going even longer now. He's just going for days. He's going to carry on until I think the tyres blow up. But we have got One trying to go down the outside of Jonathan Cox, not being able to make that work. Maybe trying a bit too hard as One is down the inside now of Jonathan Cox. Jonathan Cox is able to not quite able to defend as that opens up the inside for Andreas, and Andreas isn't able quite to squeeze through, but this isn't going to be incredible for their tyres. One looking very strong this race now. So Energetics will be battling hard now not to allow that driver through. Oh, as Dan Murphy gets his braking zone all wrong and completely missing it. That's not going to be good for him. Losing position after position. And Jonathan Cox isn't going to be the happiest about that, I'm sure. Losing the front of his wing. Obviously, he was planning to go a lot deeper into this race than now, but I'm sure he's going to be coming into the pits now. We do have Energetics really under pressure by One now. We will be looking to see how the Haas driver can sort of handle the pressure now of the Red Bull just behind him as Jos is moving past the Mercedes, who has just come into the pits. But we will be keeping an eye on how this freeway battle at the front does go. It's the Haas driver really being able to keep the pace, and Fleet is now out of the race, getting it all wrong as well in sector 1. That is a safety car coming out again, so maybe this is where Energetics could pit. But we have got Jonathan Cox now coming back into the race. Maybe the safety car saving him a bit here. And Energetics, I don't know, he might go even longer now. He's been given the opportunity to drive under the safety car. There's a possibility he's 10 laps old soft now. Everyone else was pitting on lap 5/6, so maybe he's going for the one stop. It might be a strategy that could work actually now, as the two drivers behind him do have to stop again. And this safety car will let him go to lap 12 now. Maz now picking up a 3-second time penalty for corner cutting. I don't think he's the most confident around this track, as he is down in P13 usually when he's up in P7. But you'd never know, as he does pull into the pits now. I'm 90% sure he will be looking to go to the end of the race on possibly a set of mediums. We will just sit on board to see what tyres he does put on. And he puts on a set of medium compound tyres. And there we go. Coming out of the pits now. Dan Murphy coming back into the pits, putting on a set of mediums. Maybe also going to the end. The race hasn't gone the way he wanted. But this sort of thing does happen a lot. Nova going in onto the hard compound tyres, sorry. And he will be coming out just in between the two Haas drivers. You have got Young Lights just sitting behind Maz now. So Maz, I think, jumping Young Lights in the pits and having quite a good pit window. So we'll be seeing about that. To have the drivers all at the front, the top three will be needing to pit first. So Jos is in a net P1 here. I think he'll be quite happy with the way this race is going for him at the moment, as we do have Jonathan Cox still a long way back. It's going to be taking a while to get back into the fight, or back up to the back of this train, as it is at the moment tailed off by Laggy Racer, who is just coming up to the back of this as well. As Jos has decided actually to come into the pits, maybe not happy with the way his hards are feeling. He will be coming into the pits, coming out behind Energetics. I wonder where he will be coming out at the back of the grid actually now. So not sure what the thoughts are on that. But now coming out, going to be coming out onto the back, and gonna have a lot of making up to do. Maybe he just wasn't feeling the hard compounds of tyres, or he didn't have the confidence he could take them another 15 laps. But catching up to the back of the grid very, very quickly anyway. Everyone apart from the top 6 all on fresh compounds of tyres, so a lot interesting things now going on in light of this second safety car. Has really mixed up the grid, as obviously Andreas and One will be needing to pit again, as Murphy and Energetics will not be needing to pit again. So that'll be interesting to see how this goes. Maybe the second safety car has actually saved the two Haas drivers and really given them something to battle for in this race. But since this latest patch, safety car has been a bit mental. shaking up races a bit more, making them a bit more interesting, I think. Really not necessarily focusing too much on pace anymore. It's more strategy. Strategy is a massive part now, so we have got a safety car in this lap. We'll see how One does have the... He's a bit quicker than Energetics, I'll tell you that. We'll be sitting on board with Andreas to see how he does sort of deal with this. Really slowing it down now, as we do have Maz and Young Lights maybe making a bit of avoiding action. Jonathan Cox picking up a 5-second penalty. They are going very slow. They are crawling at the moment. We'll be seeing this Red Bull, and it's gone. There you go. That's a good restart there by Tina Ole. Pulling out a 7/10 gap already. Evil Hunter still clinging on to the back of them though. NUF1, last night's race winner, who I haven't actually covered that much tonight, is in a net P, well, in P2 at the moment, but he will need to pit again, so we will be seeing where he does end up coming out. As these two are still just getting away, as Energetics isn't able to make the move on Paz, as he will be looking to go around the outside, the long way around, getting the switch back. That's a beautiful move there by the Haas driver. Now Paz under pressure by Nova, the new Mercedes driver. Not ever since he's become a permanent driver, he hasn't got the best finishes. Maybe 2 DNFs, well, a DNF and a DNS, but being able to send it round the outside, getting the inside for the second part, and demoting Paz into PA. Now Murphy onto the back of the Alfa Romeo driver. He's going to be sending this down the inside more than likely. Nope, it decides against it as Maz almost makes a bit of contact with the Haas driver, and having to make late work really all over the back of Murphy, and he will be looking, but Murphy sending it down the inside, having to cut a bit, as obviously Paz hasn't left the best amount of space, but taking it the outside and getting that move done. Paz not looking completely on pace at the moment, falling back through this grid very quickly. Maybe a problem here for the Alfa Romeo driver, as there's big contact there, both being able to keep it out of the wall, but neither one will come off too well there. Duff and Young Lights not having the best moment there, but we are just keeping an eye on what is going on at the back of this pack, seeing if Laggy can get himself past Young Lights, or if Jonathan Cox can get himself past Laggy. It's very, very open. Maybe Duff can get past all three. We'll be seeing Paz really just squeezing these guys together. I don't know what is wrong with that Alfa Romeo car, but it is falling backwards, as Jos seems to have had a mistake and is now 13 seconds back, and Young Lights just sending it. Paz not battling that at all. Not 100% sure what's going on with the Alfa Romeo driver, but he is just getting past left, right and centre. As now Nova has been overtaken by Murphy. Murphy now moving just behind his Haas compatriot, but 3.8 seconds back now from his teammate. He will be looking to make that up as quickly as possible. But we do know Energetics is very, very quick, pulling up to the back of Iraj, and we will be keeping an eye on how this goes. He has got a lot fresher tyres now than the Toro Rosso driver, but I'm sure the Toro Rosso driver isn't going to be wanting to let him pass too easily, as he will be wanting to protect his teammate of Andreas Laggy Racer moving past Paz. And now Jonathan Cox going for the outside. Not going to be able to make that work. Yes, he maybe will. Not being given all the room there. But the hard compound tyres do not look like they're working too much around this track, as we've got Darth down the inside of Jonathan Cox, not being able to make that work. Jonathan Cox going into the back of Paz, losing part of his front wing, looking like a bit of fair bit of front wing damage. So Jonathan Cox will probably be coming in at the end of this lap. Energetics making a move past the Toro Rosso of Iraj on the start. Not much he can do about that, but Iraj is looking to come back at him, not make it easy as possible. As Andreas makes a move for the lead of this race in the DRS zone and is now in P1 provisionally. So Energetics managing to defend his position as well. Really hoping to put these guys under pressure. Maz now moving past Nova. I think he's found his rhythm. He's really moving up this grid quite nicely now. That is an absolutely beautiful camera angle there. But we do have Energetics on an absolute charge coming up to the back of NUF1. And we will be looking to see how he can finish. We have lost five drivers, sorry, from this race, and hopefully not many more. One of the regulars of P's not finishing, but sometimes that is to be expected. As we do have Energetics really closing up to the back. He is going to get DRS, but NUF1's also going to get DRS. Not going to be able to make the move now, but he's going to be looking at it. As NUF1 doesn't battle that at all, just lets the Haas driver go through and really put the pressure now on the top three drivers. One and Andreas have been conserving a lot, so we will be seeing if they're conserving just give them problems defending from this Haas driver who is on an absolute mission at the moment. Hasn't had the best last three races, but he has been getting quicker and quicker every single moment of this season. We are looking to see him really start pushing. And Murphy has got into 1.4 seconds now of Iraj. So maybe just closing up to the back, but we are going to stick on board for a while with Energetics, as he is the one making all the moves on track right now. He's going to be on the back now of Evil Hunter, going to be looking to make the move. Maybe Jonathan Cox retiring from the session, hitting that outside wall, I think it is, but virtual safety car is out now. Maybe not the greatest time for Energetics, losing a bit of his flow maybe, but Maz now getting a drive-through penalty for speeding under the safety car. He's not going to be happy about that. He's moved himself up into P8. He was looking alright. Young Lights has caught up to the back of him though, so don't know how that's going to be. DRS has now been re-enabled. We are back up to race pace. As we have got side by side to the two leaders, we are going to stick on board with them to see how that goes. And Andreas maybe losing a bit more time than he'd wanted now, having One go side by side with him. But One has now retaken the lead of this race, and he will be pushing again. It's not going to be wanting that Haas driver. Maybe he's noticed a Haas driver catching the back, as Evil Hunter getting a bit of a slide on out of the exit of that corner now. We have got Maz now in the pit serving that drive-through penalty. He does have to serve, or else it gets a long, a very, very harsh penalty, I think that is, for speeding under the safety car, but it does have to be served, and this is a long pit, so We have now lost 6 drivers from the race. Maz has had a nightmare. And Energetics is at the moment having a good run at the leaders. And Evil Hunter making a move down the inside of Andreas. Is he going to be able to make this move stick? Getting the outside, getting a better run. Yeah, a bit of oversteer there, but that is going to open Energetics now up to the outside of Evil Hunter. The Renault driver having a great race, but is he going to be able to defend from the Haasman? And it's looking like the answer is yes. He is. He's able to keep that third position. Maybe the dip battling is going to get a bit harder for Energetics now, as he is now battling for the high positions. But Andreas starting to really slow up, getting under a lot of pressure now from Evil Hunter. And he's not going to want to fall out that 1 second gap, which he has done now. As we have got Evil Hunter now darting into the pits. And that's going to allow Energetics to get onto the back of. But these 3 now coming into the pits. That's going to allow Murphy to get onto the back of NUF1. Who I'm sure is just running his own race. These guys are going to have to pit again. So Energetics and Murphy looking very nice for this race. As long as they can keep it together. As we will be seeing where these guys come out. They come out a very long way back. Down in P11 and 12. Just behind Jos. Who hasn't had the greatest race so far. But he will be moving up in the rankings. And now we have Energetics all over the back of Andreas. He's going to go side by side with late on the brakes. Being able to send that. He's absolutely mugged him off there. That's a great move. Making that look easy. Whether Andreas battled that all the way or if he's struggling on tyres now. But Hilke made that look easy. And Andreas down into 3rd position under pressure by NUF1 now. Murphy now picking up the pieces as well. Right on the back. He is now within DRS range of the McLaren driver. As One comes into the pits and so does Andreas. Now we have NUF1 going even further in this race. Murphy does look like he's on a charge as well. Maybe not getting as many passes as Energetics, but he is going slightly quicker maybe. And he will be looking to get past the McLaren as quickly as possible. The McLaren not quite in DRS range anymore of the other Haas driver. And Murphy in DRS range. So I think this is the one we want to be looking at. And he is in. So he will be setting himself up possibly for the race. 3 second time penalty for Andreas now. He won't want to battle the McLaren too hard, as obviously the McLaren does have to come into the pits again at some point of this race. But NUF1 has surprised me a lot of times this season, so maybe he won't. Maybe he'll stay out. Maybe he thinks it's not worth it, but we are going to be looking at now Evil Hunter going down the inside of Jos and making that stick, as we do have Iraj and One. And One has made it past. Paz now getting past by Young Lights, who is now on the soft compounder tyres, taking these to the end. One now pitting onto the mediums, which is interesting because he could have gone onto the softs like his rival Andreas, but he's chosen not to. It's getting quite busy around this area of the circuit right now, as we do have NUF1 really under pressure now. Some reason not going back into the pits, but Evil Hunter setting the fastest lap of the race with 1:38.2. So I'll be interested. Andreas getting past his teammate of Iraj. and we will be looking to see if this move can be completed now. Very, very close. He's within range of the overtake and closing up massively, not even in any high ERS. No, he's just sitting behind. Paz now out of the race, getting another victim of turn 1 or turn 2, sorry. Seems to be really, really unsettling cars and just spitting them off the track and into the wall. One now going past Jos. Jos not going to be able to do much about it, and Andreas trying to get the run on Jos. NUF1 picking up a 3-second time penalty. Murphy now getting through on the McLaren driver at his favourite passing point, which is the chicanes. Andreas sending it deep on the Alfa Romeo driver, managing to make that work though, so he is through, and he is going to be looking to really put pressure on One. But they will be having to pass Evil Hunter, who does look massively on form tonight. We do now have the two Haas drivers on P1 and 2. If they can keep this together, that's going to be a great result for them. And we have Jetix getting caught up with quite quickly now by his teammate, losing 4 attempts in the first sector. We will be seeing if Andreas can make moves on. Oh, Jos getting it all wrong there, going into that chicane. But being able to keep it in front of Iraj for the time being. Is he going to be able to keep it there though? As he will be, as they will be going side by side into the chicane, and Iraj just parking it in front of Jos and not being able to do much about that. But there you go, Jos down into P9 and Iraj up to P8. This is looking like how it's going to finish at the moment. NUF1 seems to be a tyre-aware god at the moment. Really, really surprising on his strategies, but making them work so far. If he gets a puncture, that's going to be devastating for him. But he is up in 3rd place at the moment on 16-lap-old mediums. I'm not sure he's going to be able to run to the end. He's going to have to go 21 laps on these medium compound tyres. We've got Evil Hunter all over the back of Laggy now as well. Will he be making this move? There's a queue forming now, and he is in a Red Bull sandwich. This Laggy race is not going to be making it easy for Evil Hunter, and is going to really want to give One a go at him. Not being able to make that move though. Keeping it just behind. One all over the back of Evil Hunter. And we will be keeping an eye on how this goes. Laggy Racer moving over to the side to not allow the slipstream. Both drivers going over to the side. Laggy Racer getting the inside for the first part of the chicane. Not being able to defend it very well though, as his teammate One goes through. And he's able to close the door on Andreas as well. So he's done that pretty much perfectly. And Andreas now will be having to go side by side with the Red Bull driver into the second chicane, but making it look easy. And absolutely doing him there. Andreas getting another 3-second time penalty, though, for his troubles. Now, will they be able to get 4 seconds? Or will NUF1 hold his podium? That's a second per lap. And now, is it possible? That is the question we have got to ask ourselves, as it seems like Murphy is happy with a P2. He's going to just cruise his way to the finish of this race. But we do have the likes of One, who's looked very, very strong. Strategy not being on his side this race. Maybe safety car really messing him up. but he is still on for some very, very good points if he can get past the Renault of Evil Hunter. And he is not going to be able to. Evil Hunter having a great first race for the league. Looking very, very, very quick. But he is going to get passed by One. Is he going to be able to defend? Possibly. Going down the inside. No. And One makes that move stick. As he will get DRS though, and he is going to go side by side with him again, and he's going to be able to get that position back now. As Andreas is looking for any move he can possibly make and pick up the pieces of this. Andreas does need to beat One though to keep his championship hopes alive, I think. Just because he is behind him in third place, a couple of 20 points behind. So he is looking to get these good finishes on the board. Andreas picking up yet another 3-second tyre penalty. That is him out of the race. Putting it into the tyre wall. He's not going to be happy with himself there. That is a yellow flag in sector 3. Nothing more. That is a time where we'd need a safety car. Realistically. But he is going to be so disappointed with himself. He's already left the session. But that's racing. It sometimes doesn't go your way. As he is out of the race now, we have lost almost half of the grid. And Maz moving up into P11. He needs one more person to have an unfortunate incident to get into the top 10. So he will be hoping that can happen. As Evil Hunter and One continue battling, as NUF1 actually got passed by both of them now, which I didn't quite notice as these two go side by side. This is a battle for the podium now. As One gets the DRS, but he doesn't get any slipstream, so it won't be as strong. Going side by side. And One making that move stick. Evil Hunter possibly getting the better run though. And no. As we've got another side-by-side battle as Laggy just decides he doesn't like the corner anymore, getting a 3-second time penalty for his troubles. And Iraj all over the back of the Red Bull driver. So we've got Jos as well, closing in on the back of the two. So we'll be seeing a lot go on in these final 2 laps, as Energetics has increased his lead by another 2 seconds and will be looking to just take a commanding win home for the team. It does look like Laggy is really struggling on the 15 lap old mediums, yet Iraj is looking quite good at the moment. Not being able to get the turn in though he wanted, having to lift quite a bit. Oh, Jos is really going to be looking to get that 6th place. 6th place is a big points finish for one of the lower half teams, and Alpha are one of those, so he will be looking to get Alpha on the board. And maybe move them up a bit. As Young Lights again has not had one of the greatest races. One of the quicker drivers on the track, but he could get himself up into P6. Will be quite a nice position for him, as he does get a better run than Jos now, and he will be looking to make the move. So whether he does, it's going to be awkward for him because he's got those 2 in front as he sends it down the inside of Iraj, maybe overdoing that slightly, pushing a bit too hard, but getting past Jos. He's really looking for the double overtake there in the braking zone, but that was not to be. So we do have Young Lights on the back of. See, this is going to be massive on the last lap of this race. This is the one we want to be keeping on board with. This 5-way battle for P5. Is NUF1 going to be able to hold on to it, or is it going to be Jos's or Young Lights, Iraj's or Laggy's? We'll be seeing here is NUF1 is under so much pressure now by these drivers. This is going to be down to the wire, nail-biting stuff here at Abu Dhabi at the Yas Marina circuit, as cars are looking for any way to pass. Young Lights picking up a 3-second time penalty. That could be... Oh, there's freeway. That's a massive incident there, as Iraj is out. Young Lights has got red wing damage. No front wing there for the Renault driver, parking it up and retiring from the session. Jos now with bad front wing damage, losing yet another place, as Maz got his unfortunate incident and has moved himself up into P9 now and will get points. So will WCR Nova getting his points for tonight, as that was a massive incident. They're not going to be happy with each other. Both drivers are going to, but we are going to be watching as Energetics does come over the line in 3 corners time to take another victory for his championship battle, and another to just extend the lead of Haas's commanding run this season, as he takes it home. And that is your race winner, with the fireworks going off, looking amazing, giving him P1. Then you've got Murphy coming across the line in P2, One P3. Evil Huns having a good race here in P4. Laggy Racer getting P5 in the end, and NUF1 maybe getting let off there by the big incident, getting put up to P5 though because of Laggy Racer's incident. Darth coming in to P7. Maz actually getting overtaken by Nova and just deciding he doesn't want 2 points and taking home 1. So again, another massive hit for Racing Point. Not looking too good in the constructors for them, but as we see, it is a 1-2 for Haas. Even on the penalties, they are going to be taking even more points home to the Haas home place, which I think is in America somewhere, but they are going to be, I'm not sure if they're the champions yet, but mathematically other teams are still in it. They will be really looking to get that constructors sealed for next week, as Dan Murphy does extend his lead on the championship again, and both Haas drivers getting 0 penalty points now. Looking good now for the championship battle. It's still close between One and Murphy. One getting a good P3 finish on the podium, but it's looking close. Thanks a lot for tuning in again. We'll be back here for another race at 8 o'clock, and we will see you next time. Bye.